Hello, this is Massimo, and in this video I'm gonna talk about positions and effects. It took a while to produce this video, mainly for two reasons. One was that QLC Plus needed some improvements in some areas concerning positions, and the second reason was that it is difficult to show positions unless you have the actual fixtures connected and until you light something up. So basically they are an invisible property. So for this video I'm gonna use a very powerful software called Capture Argo. Now I'm gonna spend very quick words about it. So this is the software, and as you can see, it's for professional use, and it's quite expensive. Luckily there is a student edition which is free of charge, but it is also very limited in terms of universes and fixtures that you can place on the preview. So for example, this is the list of supported fixtures, and luckily QLC Plus have some of them, so I am able to connect to the software. It works on Windows and Mac OS, but you can run it on Linux as well using the Wine software. So here it is. I'm connected to it via ArtNet, so I'm sending data on the local interface, and I also have Nano Control 2 MIDI controller, which is more comfortable for controlling positions and parameters in general. To speed up the tutorial, I've already created some basic scenes that will help me to explain how to design position scenes. And I also have some elements in my virtual console. So just to show you how it looks like, go to design mode, and if I turn on the lights, I will see the moving heads. They are mounted upside down and they are pointing toward the sky. This is their reset position. As you can see, even on Linux, it's pretty smooth, works very well. I also have created some colors just to distinguish the heads, and I also have a couple of helpers functions. One is to reset only the color channels and the dimmer channels, and the other one is to reset the complete universe, reset all the channels of all the fixtures. The fixtures I'm using are some different makers. We have the Vari-Light spot moving heads on the back, and then some Martin fixtures on the sides of the stage, and some Robe color wash fixtures on the front. So as usual, in QLC Plus you have to start from the basic element, which is the scene function. Now you can hold on a second. You can create some scenes regarding positions. For example, take the front washes. But here's the problem: the DMX works by numbers, and numbers going from 0 to 255. While normally positions are expressed in degrees, so it is difficult to know exactly where are you pointing at, especially if, for example, the pan range of a fixture is 540 degrees, so more than one complete round. Same goes for the tilt channel. For this reason also, the DMX is quite limited because the granularity is quite poor. In fact, if you think that they have to map 540 degrees on 255 numbers, it's very difficult. And for this reason they introduce also the 16-bit mode. So you will find on some fixtures you will find pan fine and tilt fine. QLC Plus handles all of them, either let's say coarse channels and 16-bit channels. So as usual, you can manually set some channels but it is very difficult. Even if you have a preview, it's very difficult. Now I'm controlling this one. It's very difficult to understand where are you pointing at from a number, right? And same goes for the tilt, for the pan channels. So I would basically not suggest this way. You even have a position tool here, and which expresses the positions in another way, in a kind of 2D representation, where the origin is the upper left corner, and the increasing values are on the right for the tilt, for the pan, sorry, and on the bottom for the tilt. So for example, if I want to move the heads, in this case I'm moving just the first one, you will see that it is quite difficult to understand where you're pointing at, because this 2D area covers the full range of the head. So for example, if you just want to move the tilt, you have this control, but it's not quite precise. Okay, so this is a way if you really want to manually point a fixture towards something on the stage, and basically if you want to control just one fixture, because if you select more than one fixture, it will get a mess, really a mess. But it's a way to go. I mean, it's up to you to decide what to do. So the other way instead, I'm gonna delete this scene. The other way instead I want to talk about is a sort of live / manual design phase. So I've prepared here, this is another way, but similar to the scene creation. This is another way to control the positions of groups of fixtures. For example, let's say I want to control all the front fixtures. I can do this, but again, you have numbers here, not degrees, because the sliders are generic for every purpose. So it's really difficult again to understand where you're going. But if you want, this is another way. These sliders are configured in level mode, controlling directly the channels of the moving heads. So just to show you, the reset all function brings everything to its origin position. So the other way I'm gonna suggest in this tutorial is the use of the XY pad, which is this guy here. The XY pad is basically a 2D representation like we've seen before, but it has a lot of different configurations. So if you go into the available properties, you will see a lot of things that you can do. So first of all, you need to add the fixtures you want to control. So in this case, I want to control all of them with just one widget, and this is my list. As you can see, by default, it takes the full range of all your fixtures. So but this is not what we want, because most of these positions will point outside the stage, or will not be controllable, because they can go only to the right or to the left. So you need to find out the correct degree range of every fixture, depending on how you mount it on the stage. But once you understand this process, it's quite easy to set up a new show. So in this case, I already know the ranges, so I'm gonna set them like this. So these are the vari light. No, these are the color wash. Yes, 290, and then 130 and 40. And then the MAC on the sides, which are basically similar but not identical. Since we have some pan ranges doing more than one turn, I set the pan degrees to halfway, so I can control both the directions. So 290 degrees is a range inside the stage, but that can be controlled on both directions, and I will show you later how this looks like. So let's finish this, and we have 470 again, and 290, and then again 140 and 30 degrees. Alright, so now I have set the ranges, and these ranges will limit my fixtures inside the stage. I'm gonna also connect my nano control, so I will use a knob for the pan, so the horizontal axis, and then a slider for the tilt, so the vertical axis, and that's it. So right now I've added my fixtures and limited their working mode, let's say working operational mode. So let's see in 3D what happens. So if I turn them on, I can control them like this, and in every point of my range, they will never go in ridiculous places. This is all what I wanted. Of course, you can limit them to the points you want. So in this way, I can. This is better, a little bit better. So, for example, I have when the tilt is at the maximum value, they will point down like this. And so in this way you limit, and you can start from here to build all your position scenes, because that's our main goal right now. So let's turn them off, and I will reset everything down. Now, controlling all of them at once, it's not the way to go. So the XY pad comes handy here as well, because we have presets, so you can add a fixture group to group them in a sort of button. Sorry, okay, color wash. So these are the AT that are on the front, and then we have the Mach 250, there you go, on the sides, and then I've got the VL 3000 on the back. So 3 buttons, which are called presets, are representing now the groups of fixtures that the XY pad will control. If nothing is selected, the XY pad will work like before, so it will control everything. So light them up, some colors, okay. So I am controlling everything, but if I click on a group, I will control only that group, so it's really more usable right now. Groups are exclusive, so you cannot select 2 groups at once. Eventually you can create another preset with more than 1 group or more fixtures at once. And again, the front fixtures as well. This is it. Okay, so right now this is the second step to going toward a controllable design phase. I have limited the range, I have grouped the fixtures. Now I'm almost ready to create my position scenes. So let's go for a second outside the operate mode. I go back to the function and we'll create a chaser that I will use later, and I will call it back sweep, and I will set it every step to infinite duration. I will explain later what this is all about. For now, I just need to create it. I will also add Q list, and I will attach the back sweep here. And also, I will set the side fader to a step mode. So now, the next thing I'm gonna do is to actually dump some positions into scenes, which is more comfortable than setting each value manually. So I go to operate mode, reset all, just to be sure that I'm not saving spurious channels. So of course I have to light them up to understand what I'm doing, but afterward I can control. I can have full controls of the positions. I can save only the position channel. So let's start from here, for example. Oh, I have the non-control. I forgot about it. Okay. Yeah, as I said, the mouse is not comfortable sometimes to do these operations. An external controller is much more accurate, and you can feel the slider, so the fader, so it's really more useful. Okay, so now I'm pointing the backlights towards the audience, let's say, and what I'm gonna do now is close this one, and I will shut the lights off. So this button here will bring all the intensity related and color related channels to 0. So basically in my simple desk right now, going out on DMX, I have only position channels, but right now I realize that there are also channels from other fixtures, so I want to save only the channels of the vari light. So I'm gonna reset all just for a second and then light them up and verify that I'm doing the right thing. There you go. Okay, so this is only the VL3000. Okay, so let's check again on the simple desk. So only the VL will have set channels. Let's double check it. So VL, and all the rest is 0. Okay, so what I'm gonna do now is to dump those values into a new scene, which I'm gonna call back high, and I will add them to the chaser that I created before. I'm going to dump only the non-zero values. So basically what I'm going to dump on the scene is just the non-zero values, so basically only the VL3000 positions that I wanted. If I hit OK, I've got an entry there, and then I can continue on this way. So I'm gonna create, for example, another position from here, halfway. Gonna dump them like back, mid, 3, 1, and I will add 2, and okay. Then again, another one at halfway, right? Another one here, and the last one to the bottom. Okay, so what I have done is I have created a queue list that will allow me to do this thing, which is kind of nice sometimes. Now I have 5 positions that I can control with just a single sliders. For example, if I light them up, right? Okay, this is, for example, just to create 5 known positions that you can use during your live show. Just for the record, the XY pad can be used in this case for dumping scenes, but you can reuse it during a live show, and I will show you later how. But for example, now I have created a live element that I can use during my show if I need some specific position. Like this. I can attach, of course, this slider to an external controller, so I will have the feeling a better control of it. Okay. Okay, I'm gonna create another couple of scenes, position scenes, for different other usages. So for example, I want a scene for let's go here, right? So I want a scene, for example, like this, or just a little bit better maybe, for everything pointing to the center of the stage, like this, something like this. Now going really quick, and shut everything down and dumping a new scene that I will call center stage only, but I will not add it here. Alright, and then I don't know, another scene, I don't know, to light the singer, but it's kind of difficult when you have groups, but eventually you can create different groups for the lights you need. For example, like this. Okay, let's go. Another scene. Singer, say, singer position. There you go. So let's go back. So here I have all the scenes that I've created, and basically they are clean scenes, or basically scenes without any other channel other than positions that I've dumped. This is a good practice because you can separate the scenes, and you can then build them up through collections, and we'll see that later again as well. So let's talk about some effects. So this is the EFX Editor, and basically in this area you can add the fixtures that you want to control. For example, let's say we want to have the front of the stage to control. You have several parameters here, and now we are interested in positions, and we're not going to reverse or change the offset of the positions, but I can show you the preview. So this is the preview. It starts with a very simple circle preview, but you have plenty of other presets, which are basically mathematical functions. But you have always to keep in mind that this 2D area represents, again, the pan and the tilt axis, with the origin on the top left corner. Basically, it's something, and there's something in the documentation. This is it. The origin is here, and the degrees, the ranges are represented like this. So this preview covers all the range of all the degrees that the selected fixtures can handle, and this is called, let's say, absolute mode. But it's very difficult to control an effects like this, because especially if the pan range does more than one turn. But let's see, just for curiosity, what happens when I launch an effects like this. It's really not what we want or what we imagine to have. So if I turn on the lights and then I launch this one, it does something like this. Maybe you like it, maybe not, but it's not something that we probably want. So I'm gonna reset all. The FX is quite powerful because you can you can really you have a lot of parameters here. So for example, if I know that my range is limited, let's say around here, I can reduce the size, for example 15 by 15, and then I can move the offsets like this, like 80 and 170, and it goes like that. I'm gonna change also the preset, and I'm gonna have a height. I'm gonna too much. Okay, something like this for the speed, and then I'm gonna try again. There you go. And this is much more acceptable, even if it is really fast, but it's kind of difficult to we've got the same problem as before. I mean, absolute values are difficult to imagine and to hit. I've entered the values because I already knew where more or less where I had to go, but it's really difficult. Let's go a little bit slower. So before talking about how to solve this kind of problem, which is not actually a problem if you know what you're doing, because this is how the EFX Editor works. Let me show you a little bit how the EFX Editor works. So for example, let's add again some the front fixtures here. Okay, first of all, you can vary the effects by adding offsets in degrees of the positions of the fixtures. As you can see in the preview here, let's do a little bit fast, right? Like this. There's only one point, which is basically representing all my 4 fixtures. So if I want to have something a little bit nicer to see, I can do something like this. And there we go. We have something like chasing moving heads. And then I have all these parameters that are related to my mathematical function. So let's see a little bit what are the possibilities here. Well, the 8 is you know that. We have a line. The line is interesting when you do something like this. So if you rotate 45 degrees, you will control only the pan axis. So this movement will actually turn in some horizontal movement. If you rotate the line algorithm by 135 degrees, you will have a vertical movement like this. So you will control only the tilt channel. If you want, of course, limit the range, you can do something like this, or even better, something like this, right? This is probably something closer to something usable. Or okay, you have other presets. Let's increase the size a little bit, and you can play with these parameters and achieve incredible results with just these parameters. The interesting one, well, we have the square, we have the square choppy, the leaf, there you go. But the interesting one is this guy here. Let's reset the rotation. And for example, if I can obtain very nice shapes by playing with these parameters here that are enabled only for this algorithm. For example, this one, or some kind of, I've got this one, which is really helpful sometimes. Now I'm going too fast. Right, like this. And if you want to rotate the algorithm, you just need to rotate it by 90 degrees like this. Okay. Another one is, for example, this one. 150, you have sort of, I don't know, wings. Or you can have something extreme like this. So really, with these parameters, you can obtain incredible results. All right, so let's go back for a second to our absolute problem. So the best way to use the FX editor, or an FX in general, is to use it in relative mode. So I'm gonna create a new one. I'm gonna add all my fixtures, why not? And I'm gonna set it to relative. So when I set it to relative, which is a little check, but it's very, very important, and it changes drastically how the FX works. The origin changes from here to here, and the positions are going in the four directions like this. I have a document that might help to understand this. A document that I will share later. There you go. So this is the representation of the relative to the diagram, and of course you are still covering all the degrees supported by a fixture, so you need to limit this down. For example, like a very small one like this, and then we can speed this up a little bit. Alright, so let's do the 8 again, and I'm gonna call it relative 8. Okay, so if I go to the virtual console, I trash this down, right, because I don't need it anymore, and I've got my relative 8. So what I can do now with the relative effects is this. I turn this on, for example, control all my fixtures like this, and then starts my relative FX on top of the existing position, and I can change the position and the FX will work on the current position that I have set. So this is what you actually have to do during a live show. So you have the XY pad controlling your position, limited in range, and then on top of that you can add your colors, your gobos, and whatever you want, and launch the effects that are best for that moment of the show, like this. So this is just an example. It's probably too messy, but it's just to give you the idea of how this should be done. Alright, so let's turn this everything off. Another thing that I want to show you is how a relative effects works on top of a static scene, because what we've seen here is a sort of already live control of an FX, but what you might want to do during a live show is to recall exactly a position and an FX on top of it, or just a position and nothing else. So I've created, for example, this center stage here, and now I'm gonna create a collection to assemble two functions in one. So it is very important to understand here that collections work by order. So if you mistake the order of what you place inside in here, it doesn't work well. So in this case, I need to have a scene, for example, my center stage here, and on top of that, I need my relative 8. If you mistake this order, it will not work, because the relative effects will not know where to start, because the position is not set yet. So let's call this center 8 center 8. Wow. Right. I'm gonna add a button here. Collections. There you go. Right. Okay. And this is just a button that I can recall anytime during my live performance, and it will do exactly that. It will start from the center of the stage and do an 8 on top of that. And if you see, I've activated also the button of my effects because it's connected to that effects. Right. So with all these elements, you can do a very, very large number of combination of effects parameters, positions, groups of fixtures. You can really do whatever you want, and it's just a matter of understanding the procedure and organizing your work, organizing the design phase. Once you're done, now I have sort of a mess in here, but once you're done, for example, you can hide this. If you use this during your live show, you can reuse it, or you can hide it in some frame. You can hide this one because it was designed as well, and you can put your final scenes and so on. The concept is that you should always create a modular light show. So the scene is the basic brick, the basic element of everything, and on top of that you can do many other complex things, but keep it separated. Keep lights separated from positions, separated from gobos, separated from everything else. So in this way you will have a lot of buttons here, but you will have full control of your light shows. The last thing you can think of is, what if I go to a venue and with all the same fixtures but in different positions, then you can use the dump DMX values again. So for example, if I want to tweak the... Okay, let's bring this back here. If I want to tweak the, I don't know, the center stage scene, I can do this. Now, this is probably something I should have done before, but here we go. So I point my fixture to the center of the stage, I light them up. Okay. So what I can do now is I want to change where the front fixtures point at. Okay, I need to deactivate this one, otherwise they will conflict. So I want to change how the front position looks like. For example, like this, an uncommon example, but just to give you the idea. What I can do is I reset everything that's not needed in this scene, and I can dump on an existing scene, for example the center stage that I've modified. As you can see, the DMX dump dialog see that you want to dump values on an existing scene. So when you select it, it will select for you the channels that you have used in that scene, not one more, not one less. In this way you can overwrite an existing scene exactly for the purpose it had, without changing the name and nothing else. So if I confirm and I let you go, for example, reset everything, okay, my center stage will be exactly what I wanted, and this is the modified one. Same goes for example, if you have not upside down fixtures and whatever you want. But the mechanism is that DMX dump comes useful in many occasions, even during the design phase, not only during a live show. So that was all. Thanks for watching, and bye.